The enemy sent fleets to break us, but they forgot. We only needed one human. They thought numbers were enough. They thought fleets, engines, and weapons could decide the fate of stars. But war is not just math, not just equations of power and fire. War is chaos. War is instinct. War is the spark in the human mind that refuses to bow, even when the galaxy itself screams, surrender. And in the end, they learned the truth. All it took was one human. Before we dive into this story of courage, defiance, and one person who rewrote the rules of galactic combat, I want to pause for just a second. If you're enjoying these stories, don't forget to like and subscribe. It helps us bring you more tales where humanity refuses to break. Now, let's step into the silence of a war that should have ended us, but instead crowned us with legend. The Zorath Armada was unstoppable. At least that was the word passed from system to system, carried like poison in every whisper. Whole planets had fallen before their waves of ships, thousands upon thousands moving in terrifying unison, their formations flawless, their timing mathematical. Every battle looked the same. Overwhelming numbers, coordinated strikes, total annihilation. They never broke formation. They never improvised. They never lost. Until they met humanity. We weren't the most advanced race. Our ships were smaller, our weapons weaker. Our fleets numbered in the hundreds where theirs were counted in tens of thousands. And in every council of the galaxy, the verdict was clear. Humans should surrender. But surrender is something we've never been good at. It started at the Battle of Darus Rift, a choke point of black rock and broken moons, where trade routes cut through dangerous tides of gravity. The Zorath came with over 2,000 ships. They weren't here to negotiate. They wanted Earth's colonies erased, a message burned into history that resistance was pointless, and standing in their way was a fleet of just 40 human vessels. The Council laughed when they saw the numbers. They said we were committing suicide. They said we were arrogant. They said we were fragile little dreamers pretending to be warriors. And maybe they were right. Except for one detail. On board the lead ship, a carrier named Indomitable, was Commander Elias Kade. He was not the most decorated officer, not the highest in rank, not even the oldest or wisest. But what made him different, what made him dangerous, was something the Zorath could not calculate. He refused to fight their war. He fought ours. When the Zorath entered the rift, their formations were perfect as always. Rows upon rows of heavy cruisers and missile frigates, shields locked together, every movement like gears in a machine. Any other race would have matched them line for line, tried to resist with symmetry, with strength. But Elias Kade gave a single order. Break formation. The captains hesitated. Every manual, every simulation said to hold the line. But Kade's voice cut through doubt like steel. And so the human fleet scattered. 40 ships, darting in 100 directions, weaving through asteroid debris and gravitational whirlpools. No discipline, no structure. To the Zorath, it looked like panic. They fired volleys into the rift, lasers sweeping across black skies. But their weapons found only fragments of rock, shattered moons, empty space. Because chaos was not panic. Chaos was the plan. Kade understood something the Zorath never could. Their discipline was strength, but it was also a cage. They were predictable. Every formation, every maneuver had been perfected through centuries of war. But perfection is fragile. It cannot bend. And what cannot bend breaks. The human ships moved like wolves, not soldiers. Alone, they were weak. Together, unpredictable. One corvette darted through the shadow of a shattered moon, firing its entire payload not at an enemy ship, but at the asteroid's edge. The explosion sent a cloud of debris tearing into Zorath's shields, their perfect lines buckling for the first time. Another human frigate lured a squadron into a gravity well, then ignited its engines in a suicide burst, dragging them down into fire. Every captain fought like an outlaw. Every ship fought like it was the last. And at the center, Elias Kade's voice bound chaos into strategy. Don't fight their war. Make them fight ours. Hours turned into days. Yes, days. The battle did not end quickly. The Zorath expected victory in minutes. Instead, their lines collapsed into frustration, their formations shredding as they tried to chase ghosts through the rift. For every human ship destroyed, 3 Zorath vessels followed it into fire. Their captains began to argue. Their discipline faltered. They had never faced an enemy who refused to play by the rules. And then came the turning point. Kade himself took the Indomitable into the rift's heart, where gravity twisted light into knots. It was madness. No ship should have survived there. But his gamble was not survival. It was annihilation. He transmitted false coordinates, false orders, fake signals across every Zorath channel. Their own systems, built to obey perfect structure, became confused. Cruisers fired on frigates, wings collided, entire squadrons turned on phantom signals, and in that storm of betrayal, the humans struck. When the smoke cleared 3 days later, the rift was silent. The Zorath armada, 2,000 ships strong, was gone. And the human fleet, shattered and bleeding, numbered only 12 survivors. But they had done the impossible. They had broken the unbreakable. The Zorath had been defeated not by numbers, not by strength, but by one man's refusal to fight like anyone else. Elias Kade became a name spoken in every council, a symbol, a warning, a promise. Because now the galaxy understood. War had changed, and humanity had changed it. That was the story of the day one human changed war forever. What do you think? Was it bravery, madness, or something only we humans can truly understand? Drop your thoughts in the comments and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. If you want more stories where humanity doesn't just survive, we rewrite the rules of survival. And remember, they thought numbers were enough. They thought perfection was victory. But they forgot the one thing that makes us human. We fight like no one else.